We have our PPC graph. This is a PPC graph. So based on this graph, we said a PPC is a graph that shows the combination of two goods an economy can produce if all resources are fully utilized. That means all resources in such economy is fully used or employed. That is what it means. So here we have capital goods. We have consumer goods on the horizontal side, and we have capital goods at the vertical side. So here at point A, the maximum of goods that can be produced at point A, 16 million. That means when you are producing at point A, 60 million of consumer goods will be produced and 0 of capital goods. That is, if you are producing 16 million, that's you are producing the maximum of consumer goods. That would mean that you would not be able, this economy would not be able to produce any capital goods at point A. So that's point A. I think it's clear.
Yes.
Okay. Then we go to point D. At point D.
Yeah, okay.
At point
Zero
D.
goods.
Let me just make it spot here. Yeah, at point D, at this point, at point D, the economy will be able to produce fully 8 million units of capital goods, which means 0 units of consumer goods will be produced at point D. At point A, there's an opportunity cost at D. At point D, there's an opportunity cost at A, which means if the economy is producing at point A, it will not be able to produce any capital goods. And if the economy is producing at point D, it will not be able to produce any consumer goods. That is done. Then we'll go to point B. At point B, 40 million of consumer goods will be produced at point B, and 4 million of capital goods will be produced at point B. I think point B is clear.
Yes.
So in point B, it can produce more of consumer goods and less of capital goods. Clear. Then at point
E.
Now, before we go to point E, let's go to point C. At point C, 8 million of consumer goods will be produced, and around 7 million of capital goods will be produced. So there's no any situation that the economy will be able to produce the same level of output. That is why we call it production possibility curve. I think that is clear.
Yes.
Now we go to point E. The economy will not be able to produce at point E. Do you know why?
Because
it's outside the production possibility curve. The economy will not be able to produce outside its PPC because there's no resources for such production. I think that is clear.
Even if
no, at F, the economy will be able to produce consumer goods for 8 million and capital goods at 4 million. But what is the implication here? The implication here is that the PPC is inward, is inside. That means the production here is inside the PPC. What does that imply? It implies that the economy is not fully utilizing its resources. That means all resources are not employed. That is why the PPC is inside. Do you get the point?
Yes.
So at this point, if the economy is at point F, the country should ensure that it's pushing forward its production capacity to its fullest so that it can produce at either A, B, C, or D. Do you understand the point here?
Yes.
At point F, the economy is not producing to its full capacity, which means the economy should start pushing forward to reach either point A, point B, point C, or point D. Any question about that? So that means point A, B, C, D is when resources are fully utilized. Point F, resources are not fully utilized. Point E, the economy cannot produce at point E because it is outside the PPC curve. So that is the explanation of production possibility curve. Any question about it? Is it clear, please?
Yes.
Okay.